MTD CNC, bringing you the latest engineering news via video media.
David, Swiss GT26, tell us about the capacity and the axes.
GT26 is a 25.4mm capacity machine, 6 linear axis, 2 full C axis.
The C axis is obviously on the spindles. I know a lot about this machine, or people talk about this machine with the power that's available.
Yeah, that's right. 2 full C axis, as you say, on both spindles. But the main factor on both of the spindles here are they're matched at 11 kilowatts.
And is that different to a lot of other machines that might boast being able to machine production parts like this?
Definitely. Normally on a standard slider you would see maybe 2/3 of the power on the sub-spindle to the main spindle.
So you could tackle slightly deeper cuts, bigger cuts, or the machine could run faster as a result of that?
Yeah, and it gives you more flexibility to lay your part out.
Okay, when you're making a part you need tools. How many tools has this machine got?
On here, as standard, we have 40 tool positions with up to 15 driven.
So with the tools, how easy is it to change tools? How does all that work?
On here with the driven tools we have a modular system for the main and counter operations, so we can switch options from the main side of the machine to the counter spindle.
And is that unusual?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And how quick is that process take to go from one tool to another?
I mean, really, it's seconds. It's not a long operation at all.
So I notice you've also got a B-axis on this machine. What does that offer an engineer?
It gives you the flexibility. On the B-axis that we have, it can be indexed from 0 to 120 degrees, and we have up to 8 driven tool positions for use in main and counter operations.
And with driven tools, how fast can you mill?
We have a 9,000 RPM as a maximum revs.
So this is a fast machine as well. If you were to compare this machine to, again, potentially other machines on the market, does it have the edge when it comes to speed?
It's dependent on part, obviously, but certainly it offers a lot of flexibility and power that isn't available elsewhere.
Is that as a result as well as the placement of the tools? Because I do note here we've got some tool stations that are, there's a lot of tools on there, and they're close together, so it means you can get to and from operations quickly.
Yeah, on here we have a U-shaped platen, so chip-to-chip time across the platen is very quick. And equally in counter operations we have a Y-axis with 8 positions for working in counter operations. Okay,
and some engineers would say, I don't need a sliding head because I'm not doing production, but then they might think it would be good to have one. This machine bridges the gap, I believe, because it offers non-guide bush and guide bush capability.
That's correct, yeah. We're actually running at the moment with a bushless configuration, but the machine can be switched between bushed and bushless in around 15 minutes.
15 minutes, that's pretty quick. Now, for our viewers as well, what does that actually mean when you go from bushless to bush, or either or the other way?
Well, I mean, predominantly running without a bush, you will be looking at manufacturing shorter components. So you're looking at the same sort of ratio, bar diameter to length, as you would see on a standard fixed headstock. But obviously with the flexibility you can run the longer parts as well.
So either or, if you're doing production or maybe or longer parts or shorter parts, this machine can cater for both of those?
Yes, exactly, and up to 600mm for the longer parts as well. So,
access to this machine is pretty bright, easy to get in, a good point for you?
Yeah, I mean that's something that Tornos always try to do, is have good access for the operator, good visibility, we have good natural light access into the machine, and also good swarf clearance.
Swarf clearance is important because you want to produce a lot of that quickly, which you can on this machine. What about things like coolants and lubricants?
Coolants, we have a 200 litre coolant tank on here. On a standard we have a 20 bar high pressure system as well with 5 programmable outlets, and we can also have 140 bar high pressure with a further 4 outlets.
Okay, and with the very nature that you've already told us already that both spindles are equal, does that mean that whatever you can do on the front spindle you can also do on the back as well, which gives you even more flexibility?
Yeah, I mean you've obviously got those restrictions with regards to part length and how far it can stick out, but yes, that's exactly right.
Control side of things, it is a FANUC control, offline software, how does that work with Tornos?
Yeah, we have a standard FANUC 31i control on here, so we have standard ISO coding with standard FANUC macros. But we also have our TISYS offline programming system, which offers a lot of flexibility and also monitoring for the customer as well.
So would that help an operator that doesn't have much knowledge of how to get the best out of a machine like this?
Yeah, I mean, as part of the software, we have a graphic representation of the operation, so we can clearly see the overlaps between the two channels, and that will obviously help to optimise the process.
So if you're optimising the process, you're again reducing cycle times to get parts off the machine quicker.
Yes, yeah, and also as part of that, if we're adding a lot of options, we can also do that virtually on the software as well, so we can make sure that the process we develop is going to be applicable to the machine.
So in all, David, I know you've had a lot of success with these machines. You've sold them into the UK market. Why did the customers buy them?
I think mainly it was flexibility. The machine is very rigid, very stable. We see that from customer feedback. So those main elements are really.
And when you say stable, does that mean that if the machine's going into an environment where temperature could affect the precision of a component, is that where you're going towards?
Yeah, the build of the machine from the ground up really has been developed so that we stabilise the temperature of the machine as quickly as possible. We have independent cooling circuits for the spindles and the guide bush, so we stabilise those temperatures quickly.
So there are various sectors that engineers are either working within or looking to get in. Can this handle components from pretty much every sector?
Yeah, with the flexibility of the machine, the additional options, etc., then yeah, sure.
And as with all Tornos machines, comes with warranties, backups, and all those good things?
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, David.
Thanks very much, Paul.